is to build a strong body. And for the residents of Miami-Dade, getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and the growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
Welcome in WDNA 88.9 FM into the Frost Jazz Hour here. Now the first Thursday of May as we're moving towards the end of the semester. Most of the students at UM finishing up their finals this week, but we're here as always from 11 a.m. until 12 noon to enjoy some of the premier ensembles from the Frost School of Music. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi, pleased as always to be joining you for this late morning's program. I'm also with you after this program for the Latin Jazz Quarter. But for the next hour, we have the very, very exciting piano trio ensemble under the direction of Martin Bejarano, who unfortunately cannot be here because he's busy at work at the university administering the improv jury. Always a very busy educator is Martin Bejarano. So, this ensemble, very exciting. Two different pianists that will be switching off for different tunes. So first, we have Jonah Karsh on piano, joined by Jay Cho on upright bass, and Henry Moore on drums. They'll stay for the entire performance, and we'll introduce Trenton Klaas later to step in for Jonah Karsh on piano. But for the time being, let's just get right into the music here on the Frost Jazz Hour. They're going to start actually with an original of Jonah Karsh, entitled Gradual Memory, here on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM. Gradual Memory as composed by Jonah Karsh, performed by himself live and direct here on the Frost Jazz Hour alongside this piano trio ensemble where he's joined by Jay Cho on upright bass and Henry Moore on drums. And now we'll see Trenton Clavs step in for this next tune, which is a Metheny tune entitled Questions and Answers. I also wanted to mention, while I have the opportunity, that we are now welcoming back a live audience into the studio for the Frost Jazz Hour program after a long hiatus out of the concern for public health, not allowing an audience into the studio. But now we are once again welcoming a live audience into the studio, so if you'd like to come in and listen to this music as live as possible right here in the gallery at our beautiful studio on Coral Way, you can come any Thursday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. Feel free to come by this morning if you're close by the station. Also next week, Ben Beal will be in for a performance. That's May 12th, followed by Nicole Garcia, very near and dear to us here at the WDNA family, hosting the Tuesday Latin Jazz Quarter as of recently. And then closing out May, Lucas Apostolaris. All of those programs open to the public. You can come and experience them live from the gallery. Just wanted to mention that since we are just now getting back into that after an extended period of time away from live audiences. So with that said, let's get back to the music. You're listening to the piano trio from the Frost School of Music on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM. The Frost School of Music Piano Trio Ensemble, live and direct here on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM, every Thursday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. We bring in some of the premier ensembles from the Frost School of Music, as well as some individuals and faculty members who have been associated with the school, either currently or in the past, bringing in some of their own situations. Looking forward to quite a few of those kinds of programming coming up in the weeks after this show. But of course, this week's show is the former of those two options, one of the premier ensembles at the Frost School of Music, an ensemble that runs in the spring semester each year, trying to create more trio opportunity for those piano students in the studio of Martin Bejarano, who of course is the absolutely incredible educator and pianist at the helm of the program at the Frost School of Music. So actually, before we continue with the program, as Jonah Karsh steps back onto the piano as we get set to move forward in the program, Jonah, I'm wondering, now that you're kind of nearing the end of your time at Frost, what's your experience been studying under Martin Bejarano and stepping through the program? Any thoughts that you've had over these last couple of years? Of course, things have been a lot different for your class and the classes around it than, students from 4 or 5 years prior, considering the virus and everything. But even so, just curious for some of your thoughts studying with Martin through these last 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing is that when I was first considering what school I wanted to attend, I would talk to students who went to the schools, and nowhere did people rave about the piano professor like they did about Martin at Frost, and I think it was totally warranted. He's a really outstanding educator. He's not a one-size-fits-all kind of person. He has many, many techniques, and he tailors them to what you need and what you want to work on. And is really good at finding that balance of what you need and what you want to work on. And he's one of Frost's best kept secrets, because a lot of people don't study with him until they're juniors or seniors if they're not piano players. But he's awesome. So very thankful to have worked with him these last 4 years.
100%. Yeah, that phrase "best kept secret" is quite apt, because, like you said, he flies under the radar to a certain extent at Frost. And he's also very particular with those students that he brings into his studio. So, of course, great honor to you guys to be able to study with him, and hats off for being accepted into his studio. Myself only having the opportunity to learn under his improv class, which he's administering the jury for currently. But even in that brief time that I had learning from him, I definitely echo all of the thoughts that you mentioned with regards to just the skill and aptitude of his educational style, and how much he puts into really connecting with the students on a personal level, and trying to give them the skills necessary to their personal success, rather than, like you said, just trying to slap on the same thing to every student. Which even for some incredible players, that is the avenue that they take as educators, because it's one thing to be an amazing player, which of course Martin is, having played with Russell Malone, Roy Haynes, also now about to go on a tour with Jonathan Kreisberg coming up, also a live recording with Jonathan Kreisberg from a couple years ago, and a few incredible solo releases under his belt as well. But all that aside, as an educator, he really stands out as well, in my opinion, just like you said, in his ability to really connect personally with those students. So I'm also curious about this piano trio ensemble, because of course the trio within the institution of jazz is such an important kind of concept, and has been developed so intentionally by the jazz community over the course of really the past century or so. All of these different trios kind of coming up and bringing in this new sound and shaking things up. So I guess first I'm just curious, because I feel like so many jazz musicians, and especially pianists, kind of either acclimate really strongly towards that trio sound, or they feel like they're not really in that sound. So I'm just curious for yourself personally, is this something that you're really interested in? Would you say you're super, super inside of the trio sound, or is your voice kind of more so elsewhere?
Yeah, I love to play in trios. When I was in high school, and I was placed in my high school's top jazz combo, I thought it would be a quartet with this trumpet player who was much older than me and much better than me. And then he quit the band, so it just ended up being a trio when I was a sophomore in high school, and have been playing a lot of trio ever since. And obviously a steep learning curve. It's totally different than playing in a quartet, quintet kind of setting. But the kind of freedom and interplay that can come from it is really unmatched in a lot of other styles. So I definitely consider myself a trio aficionado.
Nice, yeah, nice, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And before we keep moving forward, within the trio setting, I mean, within all ensemble settings, it's incredibly important to have kind of a deep level of trust with the people you're playing with, but especially within the trio setting, just because of the smaller amount of people contributing sonically to the soundscape, I feel like it behooves you to have an even stronger level of connection and kind of trust with those people that you're playing with. So being that this, of course you probably played with these guys a little bit outside of this ensemble, but being that this ensemble only exists for a semester, what are some of the challenges that you observed in terms of, trying to come together in some sort of way in the ensemble that you can develop this trust to, serve the music as best as possible?
Well, one thing is that Trent and I have very different styles of playing, but this rhythm section is constant through both of us playing. And that's a testament to their own skills, but that's not something that just happens overnight. At the beginning of the semester, we spent a lot of time listening to various trio kind of playing, and then for a while we just played kind of simple standards before we really brought in our own arrangements, and that's just to kind of get comfortable playing with each other. And I think that's kind of what it's all about.
For sure. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. We'll speak a little bit with Trenton later in the program too, but I want to give you guys some more time to play. Thanks so much for taking the time to share some of those perspectives, Jonas.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated. So as they move forward with this wonderful set, they're going to play a Slide Hampton composition, actually, which I'm very excited for, entitled Frame for the Blues here on the Frost Jazz Hour. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi, with you every Thursday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. We're here experiencing the piano trio ensemble from the Frost School of Music here this fine Thursday morning, the 1st of May. And let's just get back to the music. WDNA 88.9 FM. The Frost Piano Trio here on WDNA 88.9 FM. That tune, Frame for the Blues, composed by Slide Hampton, performed by Jonah Karsh on piano, Jay Cho on upright bass, and Henry Moore on drums. I'm your host, Philip Capuzzi, and with that, we're going to step aside briefly for some important messages from the station and come right back with more live music here on the Frost Jazz Hour. Welcome back in live and direct, WDNA 88.9 FM for the Frost Jazz Hour, live music from the Frost School of Music every Thursday morning. It's a great honor to be able to experience this music and speak with some of these incredible musicians and students as they move forward in their journeys as creatives and artists. It's a great honor to be able to listen to this music. Here this morning we have the piano trio from the Frost School of Music under the direction of the incredible Martin Bejarano, who's unfortunately not with us here this morning because he is at work, as always, very hardworking individual, teaching the improv jury, actually, for the class that he teaches at the Frost School of Music. So, in his absence, we've been listening to the wonderful music from this ensemble, which is Jonah Karsh on piano. He's been switching out with Trenton Klaas on piano, and they're joined by stalwart rhythm section of Jay Cho on bass and Henry Moore on drums. So we have quite a bit of music left to get to, so let's just get right into it. Coming up next, a Cedar Walton composition entitled Groundwork here on the Frost Jazz Hour, WDNA 88.9 FM. Groundwork as composed by Cedar Walton, performed by Jonah Karsh on piano, Jay Cho on upright bass, and Henry Moore on drums as part of the Frost Jazz Hour here this fine Thursday morning. Every Thursday morning from 11 a.m. until 12 noon, we bring in some of the premier ensembles from the Frost School of Music to play some live music for you all. And speaking of live, you guys can actually be the live audience in the studio. We are now welcoming back a live audience after a long hiatus from doing so out of concern for public health. But now reopening our studio here on Coral Way for these live performances. So if you want it as live as possible, you can experience it in the room. It sounds pretty good, I must tell you that. So for the upcoming shows, we have May 12th, Ben Beal, that's next Thursday. Ben Beal, former student of the Frost School of Music, and been doing some wonderful work around South Florida as a pianist, composer, and vocalist. Then after that, Nicole Garcia, who's also a pianist and vocalist, and arranger, composer, who actually hosts the Tuesday Latin Jazz Quarter here at WDNA. She'll be bringing in some of her music on the 19th. The last program of hers was quite a delight, I must say, so I'm looking forward to that. And then Lucas Apostolaris, another member of the WDNA family here, been playing at the station for quite a few years. He's going to bring in his own situation once again to close out May. That's on the 26th. So 3 incredible programs coming up these next few weeks, all from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. You guys can come in to experience it live in the studio at our space on Coral Way. Or, as always, you can listen to the audio live stream on WDNA.org or 88.9 FM. And if you're unaware, we also have a video component to the live stream, which you can access on livestream.com or at our YouTube channel, WDNA Radio. You can subscribe, actually, to our YouTube channel and check out the swath of different archived content from past shows if you want to peruse any of the past shows that have occurred, and some of them, if not all of them, very, very choice, I must say. And you can also stay up to date with all the live streams as they come out. Highly recommend checking it out. It's very, very well produced by our team here at WDNA. Once more, that's livestream.com, as well as our YouTube channel, WDNA Radio, to check out the live streams for these programs. So with that, we welcome Trenton Claes back onto the piano bench to play this next tune, which is a classic originally from the 1928 operetta New Moon, composed by Hammerstein and Romberg, not Rogers, entitled Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour. Yeah. Very intriguing arrangement of Softly as in a Morning Sunrise performed by the piano trio ensemble here on the Frost Jazz Hour. That's Trenton Claz on piano, stepping in for Jonah Karsh. They've been switching off back and forth between this program, and they're joined by Jay Cho on upright bass and Henry Moore on drums, holding it down for the duration of this broadcast. It's been a great pleasure to listen to them play up to this point. They have one more composition to perform for you all, the classic Night in Tunisia. But before we step into that, I'm just curious, Trenton, is there anything that you have in the works right now that you wanted to point the listeners to? Personally, also Jonah, all of the members, honestly, that question goes out to you guys if you have anything that you want to let the listeners know about in the way of recordings or gigs, ensembles, etc. Really anything.
Actually, I'm still finishing up that last album. When you asked me this exact same question the last time I was on
Nice.
there, we're getting that mastered now. So
Nice,
I'm really
nice.
excited to get some of my trio arrangements out there and have a lot of fun. This will actually be on the record, but solo piano instead of trio. But
Oh,
you'll
very
get to hear
nice.
the trio version today.
That's awesome. Great. Yes, very much looking forward to that. Thanks for sharing, guys, on the airwaves. Definitely look forward to that. Going to be quite the incredible release. So, with that said, just to inform you guys once more of the upcoming programs: May 12th, Ben Beal; May 19th, Nicole Garcia; and May 29th, Lucas Apostolaris. That's our month of May here for the Frost Jazz Hour. And we are welcoming back a live audience into the studio, just to mention that one final time. So if you want to come into the studio here on Coral Way and experience this music live in the room, you're more than welcome to do so. With that said, let's step into this last tune, the classic Night in Tunisia here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour.